one window, like the Clippers, and never get it back. Because now another season, it's always teams coming, and you don't know who gonna make that leap.
Yep.
That's just the only thing. So yeah, my bad. I know we can go to the next class, but yeah, that just is about Chris Paul.
We ended with the Brown Wade MELO class.
We'll go in order from backwards. I say MELO had all the tools. I won't say he did it to the level of KD, but I just think he's another player that I say sabotaged his career. I would have loved to see what would have happened if he stayed in Denver, or two, was just smart enough to not have the Knicks trade their whole team for you when you could have signed there in the offseason. And outside of that 2013 season, when they got hot, we just really never saw Carmelo really have a good team around him. Outside of that 2009 Denver team too, as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only year.
Yeah, that 2009 Denver team. And another thing, whereas we're talking about guys where I have to be fair in judging Carmelo, he never went back to the playoffs after 2013. He's good enough that he could have got 40 wins, 41 wins in the East. I don't care who they put around you. The talent you have, Carmelo Anthony, we talking about you have Jason Tatum. Yeah, let's be real. You're a better offensive player than Jason Tatum.
Exactly. Yeah.
No way in hell you don't go back to the playoffs from 2013 to 2016, and you finally go back in 2017 when you get with or was that 2018? No, you go back in 2018 when you get with what's their name? OKC.
That's because the Knicks are trash as a franchise, though.
Definitely. And once we got to question that too, though. Yeah. Like I say, when I was talking about KD, you make the worst life decisions.
That was a terrible decision.
Yeah, I got the trade right here. It was let me see. Wow. They traded Chauncey, Sheldon Williams, Anthony Carter, Ronaldo Buckman, and Melo to the Knicks for Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton, Danilo Gallinari, Miles Goff, and a 2014 first-round pick. Wow.
Yeah. That business decision wasn't very good. And then it got to the point where Mike Woodson was like, he said on TV, he said, man, if Carmelo don't shoot it 30 times, we have no chance of winning.
Yep.
Like he was telling people, like the people talking about he's shooting. He's like, listen, I don't know what y'all talking about. If he don't shoot it 30 times, we have no chance. But Carmelo won the national championship, right? Yeah. And he goes to the Denver Nuggets, who hadn't made the playoffs in a decade. Not just 1 or 2 years, an entire decade. He goes, they make the playoffs. But you in the West, you had Kobe and Tim Duncan still rolling in patrol, and a couple more good prime years of Kevin Garnett out there. That Denver team, other than when they got Chauncey, they wasn't supposed to be out there like that.
Not at all.
And Chauncey, Carmelo is another guy who needed to play because of his skill set and the way he's designed. He's supposed to play with a traditional point guard. He could have paired up with Rondo and been dope, but he needed that, and he didn't have that. And that, like you said, pushing yourself to New York that early was a bad business decision. And then but they also, New York won their first playoff game in 100 years once they got Carmelo.
But one reason too, what Carmelo's problem is, and I'm gonna go to my other what if. But let's say the reason why he forced the trade, he never wanted to give up money. So he could have went and signed in the offseason with them, but that's when the NBA changed it from you can get only 4 years if you sign with a new team.
Yeah.
And instead of getting 5. So he wanted to get traded so he can get his 4 or 5. Yeah. And I just really think if he really knew how it was, because he really didn't have that much injury history, but if he really just saw that wave that Bron was on and was taking those type of contracts, he could have really controlled his destiny better. And this is why I go back to my next what if. It was supposed to be Bron, Wade, Melo. He took the 5-year deal. Bosh, Wade, Bron took the 3 years.
Well, I blame Joe Dumars for all this.
Yeah.
I blame Joe Dumars, man.
Oh, because he's supposed to be traded. He's supposed to be drafted.
He's supposed to be drafted to the Pistons, man. And with them vets, and with Chauncey at that time being like, bro, because what was the Pistons' problem? Hey, man, we can't score. We got 80 points.
Yeah, they was winning 80-69 in those final six.
Right.
Lakers. 73 to 66.
And that was the problem why, and that's why I always try to troll though. I always troll Detroit teams because they beat the Lakers. That's why I'll be like, oh man, they underachieved. They went to 6 straight conference finals. But if you looked at those games that they were losing and those series that they were losing, the Pistons were good enough to have you scoreless for stints. It's just unfortunately too, they would be scoreless as well.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous.
So
you can't tell me that Melo wouldn't help that team, man.
You needed a guy that you could throw the ball to
who don't need, and that's what it was. The problem was, once again, it's crazy how our conversation has been. Now, how you going to score? Because one, it should have been Sheed, but Sheed pick and chose. That's why he's not mentioned with the greats like he should be.
Man, I think he made no All-Star game. Look at his numbers. I think he made one All-Star game his whole career.
Then your offense went to, all right, Rip Hamilton. It's hard to.
Am I froze or was that?
That's true, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I might just be everybody. Yeah.
So that's why you needed that that guy that was 6'8" who we just throw the ball to and get a bucket.
Yes. Like,
and that's the difference. Yeah. It changes the league. I wonder how the league
everything. It changes everything, dude. Like
Bron probably tries to come to Detroit.
or he goes west early.
Yeah. He found somebody. But no, that would have broke the league. But yeah, that's unfortunate with that.
But when you talk to them guys that had to guard Melo, they said that was a
Carmelo. I just say this though.
Skinny Melo.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I just gotta say, like, him scoring 26,000, 27,000 points. This is not nothing to sneeze at, man. This is not.
Yeah.
It's just he get buckets, man. They said he really ain't have Well, I can say he ain't have a team, but I mean, I don't never compare him to LeBron, but I think people be a little too hard on him about the team. Like the 2 times he had a team, he made it to the conference or second round in the conference finals. 2 times he did have a team.
And so, I got a news flash for people. You are your skill set.
Yeah.
LeBron is a gifted passer. So because he's a gifted passer, he can make teams work with lesser talent because he's a gifted passer. And he's the best attacker of the rim from the perimeter
ever in his
life.
You know, he hate LeBron.
So that's crazy to me that people make a comparison when they got drafted at the same time they play small forward. All right, but the reason why they got different outcomes, they got different skill sets.
Yeah, one guy's mentioned with Michael Jordan and Magic. One guy's like, he's a top 50 player.
Just going back to the Knicks, you get a gift and get Chauncey traded with Carmelo.
Yeah.
They can amnesty him. You amnesty Chauncey Billups.
The Knicks make the worst decisions ever, dog.
You make the worst life decision.
Didn't they trade Jalen? Didn't they give us Jalen Duren? Like, thank you.
Bro, the Knicks are terrible. The Knicks ain't won a championship since '73.
Well, Frazier.
It's about to be 50 years.
Yeah, so that's foolishness to even. They keep on talking about it's an attractive destination. Since when? I ain't seen no free agents go there.
Nope.
Nobody want to do that.
Amari, the last one that went, that was like
but the knees was gone.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
that's what hurt him too. That's why I say that just what hurt Melo. But see, Amari did it so right. he got that contract and he balled that first season.
25 and like 9.
And it's like
crazy.
them knees got shot as soon as Carmelo got
over. I can't do it no more.
Man. That's why it is when people say it take luck to win the championship.
He was averaging like 25. He was averaging like 25.
25 and 9. I remember. Amari was my favorite power forward back then.
Amari was nice, man. That's another guy people got to talk about. But yeah, we can move on to Wade, though. Yeah. For me, I would just say Wade. I think if people are getting a little revisionist history, what I'm going to say this is he was great. He was real great. I would really look at that 2009 Wade was insane.
Yeah.
And of course, you look at what he did in 2006, in 2005. 2005, they definitely should have won the championship, and then of course Detroit beat them in Game 7 at home. He come back in 2006, goes on a tear. I wouldn't be me if I didn't mention it. Some of those fouls were questionable, but he learned how to manipulate the game, and he still went out there and played. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, you build on what he did in the 2010 season, right before LeBron got there. The way he was playing, man, he was just playing at such a high level.
37-6.
Yeah. 2
steals, 2 blocks or something like that.
Yeah. And let's be real, him and Kobe were the 2 best players on that Team USA team in 08. Wade and Kobe was insane. I just what I hate about Wade is his body betrayed him, and we didn't get the sustained greatness. He made a little cameo at the end with
he did,
with the Heat, but we didn't really get to see him. Even look at what he was with the end with Bron. But I think he was like 33 years old, 34 years old. He playing every other game. Yeah. Averaged 15 in the finals. His scoring went down significantly every year. He was really, you could have argued he was better than Bron that first season. And
they both went crazy. They both went crazy on Boston when they finally beat Boston.
Yep.
Them numbers was ignorant.
Yep. And Chicago. And then if you look at it, Wade opened the finals, what I think with 42 and 36. And he was looking like he was on his way to his second MVP. And, I won't say, but I'm going to say, because we talking about him. They were up in Game 2, and Bron started doing some hating-ish. He started taking him out the rhythm. He wanted to get his points up because he wanted to stay in contention. Next thing you know, the Mavs come back and win that game. They run into a buzzsaw with Dirk. Yeah. But you just don't know. His career looks differently, and all of their careers look differently if they get that 2011 championship.
We talking about, right.
Yeah. Because now you're talking about 4 rings for Wade. Possibly, if they win 3, that would have been straight 3 in a row.
Yep.
Of course, they're gonna try to run it back with 4.
Right.
And the NBA looks different.
And that's the thing that when you nitpicking with the LeBron versus MJ, if that's your 2, that's always there because it can't not be there because it happened, right?
Yep.
But Wade, for him to come from Marquette and be the 3rd best shooting guard on my list, it's tough. I remember when he had the triple-double versus Kentucky in the tournament.
Man, I was shocked when he beat that Kentucky team.
Bro, he wasn't supposed to.
Real shocked. No, they wasn't. Kentucky, I think I might have had them. I think I had Kentucky playing Kansas. I had Kansas winning that year. Yeah. Syracuse definitely spoiled my bracket. Carmelo and them. It's crazy how long ago that was. But I just really look at those guys and Wade. Now when we get to this level, we're talking about the greats. These guys are top 30, top 25. So I don't want to talk about the negative so much. I just think the career looks different if he has that sustained greatness. And unfortunately, he had those injury issues. And it just sucks for Wade, too, because he took a lot of those pay cuts to help the Heat, to bring Bron in. And then Bron, I don't blame him. He's a shrewd businessman. He got some Jay-Z in him. He's like, look, bro, The knees gone. I love you. I understand you done already re-signed. It took a smaller contract, so you could try to fit me in, and I could be the highest paid player. But I'm gonna go over here to Cleveland.
I'm out. I think that people underestimate Dwayne Wade's shot making in the paint. Like, he's made some shots that I don't even know. And I know he practiced all them joints because he used to make them over. I'm like, dog, this is crazy. Like,
he definitely practiced that backboard shot too, and that spin. That D-Wade spin was crazy. Because I remember we would break it down. My dad and us, we would talk about him and Paul Pierce spin. Paul Pierce kind of spent into you.
Yeah.
And Wade's spin was so quick, it was around you.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, you will be looking for air. And the way he was just finishing, the athletic Dwayne Wade, man, it's just, this is why, and I got to hold myself accountable. I'll out myself. I was being disrespectful and was about to eventually put Harden past Wade because I felt Harden sustained excellence. His peak was insane. Like I say, even going back to Harden, not to go over, but I'm like, you just don't score 36 and 35 and 60 and 50 points in this league by accident.
No.
But it's something about Wade, what he did in 06 and what I seen in 2011, that he went out there and he balled out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think 2012 that's the most dominant performance. Well, I didn't see Jordan Pippen because I'm a little younger, but I didn't really see it like that. But when I seen two guys dominate, other than like Shaq and Kobe, when Wade and them was down 2-1 to Indiana after they lost the finals the year before, they were down 2-1 to Indiana in 2012. I think Bosh was out. And they was down 2-1 in Indiana. LeBron put up 40 points, 18 rebounds, 9 assists, and Wade had like 40. I think Wade they combined for like almost 80 points. That was the most dominant performance, bro, like I seen in the 2010s, bro. That was crazy.
Yes,
man, Wade. Oh my God,
that was crazy. The boys is different. And D Wade will end up getting lost in the shuffle sometimes because he was drafted with LeBron.
Yep.
But
that's tough.
D Wade worked his way from almost obscurity to, and we got a few of those stories on here, man. You talk about D Wade, Curry, Dame Lillard, Kawhi, like these guys they wasn't no blue chip top. The whole nation these guys had to work.
Right, when Kawhi go? Kawhi went to San Diego State.
Yeah, like
he didn't go to Duke or Kentucky.
Yeah, like that's crazy, man. It's weird because at the end of the day, the whole story, the whole journey matters. And I think a lot of guys don't get that as a part of the narrative. But now we at Brian.
Oh wow,
Brian now.
Man, I just say with him, it's so much negative talked about him on this show. I just want to start with the positive.
Yeah.
Because it was just a shift. If you seen when he came in the league and then you see how the stuff is now, we just changed how we look at sports and the dynamic and how we change and how we judge players.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is his fans and his detractors. Yeah. And I think it has taken away from us really enjoying good basketball. Like, I don't know how y'all view basketball when you came up. Well, I think you're 7 years older than us, so you had a jump. So I don't know how the debates was when y'all was watching Mike and that Barkley era come up. I saw it a little bit with Kobe because Kobe, of course, we didn't get a chance. People didn't get a chance to like him because, of course, he was threatening Mike's legacy. And then even with Kobe, it became where you're a Kobe or a T-Mac guy or where you're an AI guy. So Vince I don't know how y'all were judging. Yeah, Vince Carter. So I don't know how y'all was judging sports. But that's what I seen when I was around 12, 13. Yeah. And then you saw it a little bit with Bron. I think right before I got to before I got to college, that's when he had his 2007 series. And then it was like instantly in 08 or 09 when Twitter hit 2010 when they lost. When I lost in 09, and I remember Facebook being a whole bunch of posts about him not having it. 2010 was definitely a problem. And then it was like when he got to, pretty much the last 12, 10, 11 years has been about what he's not or what he is or what he isn't. I'm going to just start with what he is. Easily one of the most craziest physical specimens we ever seen. You would have to put him up there.
In any sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Wilt.
You would probably have to put him up there with Wilt and Bo Jackson as far as what we seen. And Deion Sanders as far as speed, but I'm just talking about the way this guy's built. 6'8", 260, quick as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But good luck.
Thank you. But let's go back to what he is. There's documentaries where they're talking about this kid at 15 could possibly be the greatest player of all time.
Crazy. I
had never seen anyone have those expectations. As good as Anthony Davis is, as good as people we've seen come in drafts, we've seen no one. As good as Kevin Durant is, we've never seen no one get harped with the expectations of what LeBron James was placed under.
Right.
And for him to go out there and compete, play at a high level, let's be realistic. Outside of his rookie season, he's never averaged less than 25 points. He's essentially been 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists since his second year in the league. With all of his talent being basically known as a pass first guy. He led the league in scoring. You just talk about it just seemed like what I don't like about Bron and how his career went. I just hate that he was just always compared to Mike and Kobe. We just never really got to look at him in his own light. It's always been attached to what the other guys were doing.
Yeah, and I think that's the part.
Yeah, that's just the annoying part. So when he finally does make it to the playoffs, and he loses to the Pistons and all that stuff, comes back, beat them, lose to Boston, all that. We just never really got to appreciate the run.
Yeah.
Without Skip Bayless,
couldn't enjoy
it. Howard Cosell, basically making him a target since his second season in the league. Yeah. So I would just say that. But LeBron, I just ended with this of what he is to me. He's top 3. I go back and forth.
Top 3.
I go back and forth sometimes between him and Kareem with that second spot. But what is just prime LeBron, you just knew who, no matter was on your team, you was at least going to be a 50-win team, 55-win team, and get into the second round of the playoffs.
Yep.
And as much as I love Kobe Bryant, Kobe teams, when he didn't have all that talent, still wasn't matching up to what Bron doing. Now, people can do semantics and talk about what Kobe was
East
in the
and West. Yeah,
Bron
they always say that.
East. I understand that. I've made the arguments. I'm not going to lie. I made those arguments with Kobe. But
yeah, because I'm a Kobe fan too. Of course, I'm going to make those arguments. But now that I look at it, like, no.
I don't know no teams outside, I think, when LeBron and then went 45 and 37. I don't know no teams when LeBron James has not been on a 50-win team or 48. You get
08, remember 08, they won 50. 08, the year they lost to Boston at 7. Him and Pierce had that battle. They won 50 games that year. I remember it was him, Ben Wallace. Goskins and them, yeah.
But let's be honest, that team wasn't as strong, and he took them to game 7, 45 points. So, I just want to say salute, man. He's had a hell of a career. We'll get into the criticism we don't like next, but I don't know too many people who's had a type of career that he's had. Yes, you count the finals losses, that count. But the fact that whether you want to say he manipulated his way or not, because we seen cats that's gone out trying to do it, and they do it wrong.
It didn't work. LeBron, he do it, but he won a championship.
LeBron.
Everywhere he went, he won a championship.